Hi everyone, welcome to Little Diamond Yoga Stories with me, Megan. And Little Diamond Yoga Stories is all about learning a new story and doing some yoga poses as we go along. So copy the moves that I do and try to have some fun. Now let's start our yoga as we always do by crossing our legs, sitting on our bottoms, bringing our hands to our hearts, and then after 3 we'll say our yoga hello, namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Well done. Now today's story is all about a little girl called Cecelia. Now Cecelia absolutely loves school. Standing up, bringing your legs wide and your hands to your heart, take them above your head into a school pose. Cecelia loves all of her lessons, but her favourite subject is science. Coming down onto your bottoms, bringing your feet together so the bottoms are touching and hold your toes, letting your knees fall out to the side. Cecelia loves reading all about space, turning the pages in your book as she reads. As Cecelia reads the books, she imagines zooming through space. Standing up, take your legs wide and your arms wide and begin to spin. She imagines zooming through space, seeing all the planets. Let's go into a planet pose, coming onto your knees, taking your head down to the floor and tucking your arms into your sides. She imagines seeing planets and stars. Standing up, taking your legs wide and your arms wide into a star pose. Cecelia imagines seeing planets, stars and moons. Bring your feet together, take your hands to your heart and take them above your head, and then bend over into a crescent moon shape. Well done. Cecelia particularly enjoyed learning all about the first men to walk on the moon. Let's take some big steps as they walk on the moon. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 1 more, 4. The first men to walk on the moon were Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong. Every night, Cecelia would go to bed, coming to lie down on your side. And as she slept, she would dream of growing up to be an astronaut. As Cecelia grew up, coming onto your feet, crouching down, put your hands by your feet. And let's show Cecelia growing up. As Cecelia grew up, her dreams became true. She got a job as an astronaut and she was going to go to the moon. Keeping your feet together, bring your hands to your heart and take them above your head and bend over into your crescent moon shape. Well done. Fantastic. Now coming down onto your knees. She had to start by going to astronaut training. Cecelia would be training to be an astronaut for several years. First, Cecelia had basic training. This involved lots of reading, coming onto your bottoms, taking your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching, hold your knees and let your knees drop out to the side, turning the pages in the book. It involved lots of reading and lots of learning of new information, crossing your legs, and then rub your head to show Cecelia learning all that new information. Well done. she learnt about engineering, Earth observation, taking out your super spectacles, and also astronomy. Can you turn your super spectacles into one telescope? Well done. Cecelia even learnt about onboard monitors and controls. Take your legs out wide in front of you and then bend down to one foot and wiggle all the controls on this part of the monitor, giving your toes a wiggle one at a time. Coming back up, and then let's bend over to this monitor and wiggle the controls on this monitor. Well done. She even learnt how to scuba dive, standing up with your feet together and then bending forward as you dive into the water. Then wave at the ground and say, "Hello, sea." Fantastic. And then walking along the bottom of the water. Some big, slow steps. 1, 2, 3, one more, 4. Scuba diving would help Cecelia with walking on the moon in the future. After basic training, coming onto your bottoms and cross your legs, Cecelia went on to do advanced training and increment-specific training. The training went on for years. Take your arms out wide and let's do our clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock, like a clock. Well done. Finally, the day came. Cecelia and 5 other astronauts were going to the moon. She was so excited. She started off by putting on her spacesuit, standing up with your legs slightly apart, and then bend down and lift one leg into your spacesuit. Well done. Now bend down and lift the other leg into your spacesuit. And then reaching in one arm and reaching in the other arm. And then she fastened up the zip all the way up the middle, and she was so excited that when she'd fastened it all the way, she did a cheer to the sky. Well done. Then she got into the spaceship, sitting down on your knees. She bent forward, picked up her helmet and popped it onto her head. Fantastic. Then she fastened her seatbelt. Take your arms out wide and twist it up over one shoulder. Pull over that belt and clip it in. And take your arms out wide again and twist it up over the other shoulder. And then pull that belt over and clip it in. The astronauts were all ready to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The rocket blasted off into space. Let's do a blast off. Coming onto your feet, so you're crouching down, and after we're going to do our countdown from 5 to 0, then we'll do our blast off, jumping into the sky. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Blast off! Well done. Cecelia and the other astronauts flew through space for 3 days. Let's do our flying pose. Standing with your feet together. Take your arms out wide like aeroplane arms. Then as you bend forward, lift up one leg behind you to fly. Bring that leg down. And then, leaving your arms as aeroplane arms, lift up the opposite leg as you bend forward. Flying through space for 3 whole days. Well done. Finally, they settled, coming onto your knees, onto the moon. Cecelia opened the door of the rocket, sitting up, taking one leg out to the side and placing your arm on that leg. Lift up your opposite arm in the sky and then bend over as she opens the door. Cecelia stepped out onto the moon, standing up. Now remember, the air in space on the moon is very different. So Cecelia walks very slowly. 1 big step and back. Another big step and back. Another big step and back. One more big step and back. Cecelia takes a look around. Take out your super spectacles. She can see lots of moon rocks. Coming onto your knees, taking your head down to the floor and tucking your arms in at your sides. She can also see lots of holes in the moon's surface. These are called craters. Coming to lie on your tummies and lifting up your feet. Reach one arm round and hold your ankle, and then reach the other arm round and hold that ankle. As you breathe in, lift yourself up into a crater pose. Well done. It's very dusty on the moon. Coming to sit with your legs out straight in front of you. Cecelia gets moon dust all over her spacesuit, tapping the dust all the way down your legs, over your feet and back up again. Tapping the dust all down one arm and your hand and back up again. And down the other arm, across your hand and back up again. Tapping the space dust all over your chest and your tummy and all the way up your back. She's even got space dust all over her helmet. On the moon it's also very, very cold. Coming onto your knees. Take your arms out wide and wrap yourselves up in a hug to try and keep you warm. Cecelia and the other astronauts take some photos for their research. Take your arms out wide and twist to look over one shoulder and take a photo over there. Snap! Coming back forward. Take your arms out wide again and twist to look over the other shoulder and take a photo over there. Snap! Coming back to the front, and then finally let's take a photo at the front for her research. Snap! Fantastic. It's finally time for Cecelia and the other astronauts to leave the moon. But first, Cecelia wants to leave her mark on the moon. She takes out a flag with a red cross on it. Standing up with your feet together and take your arms out wide into your cross pose. It's the flag of England, where Cecelia lives. She takes her flag and she hits it into the ground so it's standing tall like a mountain, with the flag standing strong to show Cecelia from England as being there. Then Cecelia and the astronauts get back on the rocket and shut the door behind them. Coming down onto your knees and sitting up. Take your other leg out to the side this time with your hand resting on it And lift your opposite arm, and then let's close the door. Fantastic. She gets her seatbelt back on, down onto your knees. And take your arms out wide and twist over your first shoulder and pull that seatbelt over and clip it in. Take your arms out wide again and twist to look over the other shoulder and bring that seatbelt over to clip in. And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! The rocket shoots off from the moon. Cecelia finds herself closing her eyes, coming to lie on your backs, with your feet slightly apart and your hands by your sides. What an adventure. Cecelia worked hard as a young girl and as an adult to achieve her dream of becoming an astronaut. Then she took off into space and landed on the moon, where she left her mark on the moon and on the world. What do you dream of being when you grow up? What will you need to do to achieve this dream? Now give your toes a wiggle and your fingers a wiggle. Lift up your knees and give them a hug. And then roll onto your side and push yourselves up so you're sitting on your bottoms with your legs crossed and bringing your hands to your heart. And after 3 we'll say our yoga goodbye. Namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you for joining me at Little Diamond Yoga Stories today. See you again soon. Bye.